Hello, I'm Gino. Welcome to Dazzle TV, and I'm getting ready to go on my morning walk. As you can see, it's wet here. It's been raining the last 4 days, non-stop, pretty much. Getting a lot of rain. And the rainy season seems like it was delayed because normally July, August, September, normally those are like some of the wettest season here in our region anyway, in the Visayan region, Region 6. But this year, it almost felt like summer during that time. But now we're getting here to late October, so I'm thinking November and December will probably be a lot wetter this year than normal. This morning my topic's gonna be why I would recommend that you should rent here in the Philippines first before you buy or before you build your house. I think it's a good idea to rent first, and I'm gonna point out why I think it is. I got this idea to do this video from Rich Ski Dog. He had asked me, he's a viewer, and asked me if I could recommend a real estate agent here in Kalibo, in our area. It made me start wondering why I never see, like, here big billboards, or I never see ads on Facebook. I never see any ads like that for a licensed real estate agent. You know, in the US, you know, they're like everywhere. You could see them in like bus benches, big billboards, and they advertise that they're licensed real estate agents. And it made me wonder, so I did a little bit of research. Here in the Philippines, in order for you to be recognized as a licensed real estate agent, you have to earn a Bachelor's of Science degree in real estate management, a 4-year degree. There is also a licensure exam that you have to take, and also a professional regulation commission that you have to get like a certification from. You're also required to get 120 units of continuing education. So it takes a lot to become a licensed real estate agent here in the Philippines. And when I Googled like Kalibo, like the capital of our province, there wasn't even a licensed real estate agent that popped up. So I did a little bit more research, and what I found out is a lot of people will just call themselves real estate specialists, but they're actually not licensed. That's why you see so many real estate specialists here, or brokers, and they're basically just working to get the commission. That's why you see so many of them on Facebook posting ads of houses for sale. I would estimate about 90% of the people selling homes here are just brokers or specialists. They are not actual real estate licensed agents. That's the big difference in the US. In the US, I know a friend of mine was a real estate agent. He had to go through a course. He had to pass a licensure. He had to maintain his license in the state of Texas at the time. So that's the difference. That's why real estate here in the Philippines has a tendency to have a reputation anyway of being sketchy. There's a lot of people that end up getting scammed, titles on land, on property, fake titles. That's why you have to be really careful with that. That's why I recommend rent first. Come here to the Philippines and get to know the layout of the land. That's why a lot of people here, when they're about to purchase a house or purchase land, they always seek a lawyer. They want a lawyer involved because there's a lot of people that get scammed, unfortunately. That's why when Dazzle and I, when we purchased our house here at Camellia Aklan, we felt comfortable because Camellia Aklan has an office right before you come through the entrance. They have an office. They handle all the titles on these properties. They make sure that the owner, once you buy your home, you get a title to your house. Dispute over land titles here in the Philippines is very common. So be very careful if, let's say, your Filipina wife tells you, oh, I have land. We can build land at my parents' property. Be careful with that because what happens here in the Philippines is a lot of times the lots, the father or the head of the family will purchase these lots in the province, and they were divided among their kids. Like, let's say if they have 4 kids, they'll divide the lot that they bought to the 4 kids. But what happens is when the father or the head of the family passes away, that land now is going to be disputed by the 4 siblings. And you would think here, it's family, that should not be a problem. But you know how it is. When money is involved, sometimes family doesn't matter. And you might end up building a nice home in this property that you don't own title to, that it's going to be disputed by the other siblings. So make sure if you're going to build a house on a lot, make sure that your Filipina wife has her name on that lot. Another thing to consider, and I know, expats, they have a lot more money to build homes. That's why when expats here, a lot of times when they build homes here in the Philippines, they're considered mansions here in the Philippines. They're just big houses, I guess, because that's what they're used to in the United States. They're used, or the country where they come from, they're used to building big homes. They consider these type of homes, like here at Camellia Aklan, they consider it too small. But one thing you should consider is, I'll tell you a story. There's this big house here in Aklan, right on the beach. This house is beautiful. I mean, it's like on the beach, 2 stories, lots of bedrooms, lots of bathrooms, and an expat built it with a Filipina wife. Unfortunately, the expat, he passed away. So now the Filipina, she's left with this humongous house, and the house has been for sale now for 3 years, and nobody's bought the house. Because the problem is, like in the province here in the Philippines, like in Aklan, there's not a lot of people that can afford a home that costs so much. That's an expensive home. When you build a big mansion and you spend, let's say you spend 20 to 25 million, there's not a lot of people in that range here, like that $500,000 home, that can afford to buy that home. Not a lot of banks will give anyone that kind of loan here, and not a lot of people will have that kind of cash. So something to consider, because now that Filipina, the 3 years, she's having a hard time maintaining the house because it's so big. Maintenance cost is high. So I'm sure eventually she'll have to sell that home at a very reduced price just to get it sold. Also, what will happen is, what I've seen anyway, is when you build those big houses, you're gonna end up having to build tall walls to secure it, you know, because since you're gonna be isolated, you know, you want to protect yourself. That's why you'll end up building a tall wall. You'll end up having a security system, because it just attracts a lot of attention. And here in the Philippines, I just wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend attracting attention to yourself here. So that would be another consideration. You would have to secure your property when you build something big like that. Unlike here, you see at Camellia, you know, we don't have to build big walls in our houses. I put a wall on ours just so that we can secure our dogs. We put a gate, that way Totoy and Chloe can run around in our yard. That way they're not going into our neighbor's yard. Even if you're coming back to the Philippines with your Filipina wife, you know, and you're coming to an area where the area is where your wife grew up, you know, I would still rent before you purchase a home or before you build your house. Because a lot of times, let's say your Filipina was in the United States for 10 to 20 years. It's been a while since she's been in the Philippines, or even the area where she grew up from. Because like for me, I've been here now in Kalibo for 11 years, around Kalibo. Just the 11 years that I've been in Kalibo, it has changed so much. When I first arrived in Kalibo, they didn't have any McDonald's. I think they had one Jollibee. They didn't have City Mall. They didn't have, so many new things has popped up. I mean, I would say in the next 5 to 10 years, Kalibo will probably become a city because of all the construction that they're building. So even the 11 years that I've been here, I've just seen so much change in the area. So that's why I said, make sure you rent first, because you might not end up liking the area. And once you build your house, or once you buy a house, you're pretty much gonna have a hard time moving. It's not easy here in the Philippines to move, because selling a home usually takes time, unless you want to sell your house at a low cost. Those are just some of the reasons why I think you should rent first. Anywhere you come here to the Philippines, any area, rent first before you purchase a home or before you build your house.
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you in our next video.